Hello, and welcome back to Haunted Halls, Revenge of Dr. Blackmore. My name is Michael, and I am playing this game for you. Here's what has happened so far. Our heroes, Tim and whatever our main character is called, have been fighting the evil Dr. Blackmore. Unfortunately, that crazy cephalopod creep has kidnapped our heroes in hopes of getting revenge. Also, we have a suitcase. And Dr. Blackmore says that Tim is somewhere nearby. Tim is actually on the other side of this door. That is going to be the main puzzle of this video. We need to figure out a way to get through the door. And you'll notice there are things on the top of the screen. Words. I actually went back and changed the difficulty setting of the game just because I like reading those things on the top of the screen. Sometimes they're clues, but most of the time they're just funny comments on what's going on. Alright, so there's an egg, and we're going to be spending most of our time here in this room. We have a kangaroo, and the kangaroo does not like the headlines. Well, or he needs reading glasses. I'm going to go with reading glasses. Over here on the right, we have a puzzle. What you want to do is connect all of the pieces. Basically, switch to number 2 and then just rotate the pieces. Alright, those connected. Those are connected. Yeah, this is a pretty simple puzzle. Once you realize that you have to switch to number 2, it's really simple. So, we have some fertilizer and an empty bottle. Just what I always wanted. Fertilizer goes over here. So we have wheat. And now we have wheat grain. Alright, wheat grain, very healthy. And here we have a hidden objects challenge. So this is different from the other games in the series, which had traditional hidden objects challenges. Here it's more like you find the items and you use them on everything. So for example, screwdriver is one of the items. Find the screwdriver. Now, use the screwdriver on the screw. Now we find the scissors blade. I kind of skipped through that tutorial thing. Hopefully it didn't say anything important. Scissor blade here. Screw on the scissors. Screw it in. And now we have scissors. So as you can see, this hidden objects challenge is more about using items rather than finding items which are hidden. Scissors on the net. Gives us the can. Here is the lid to the can. And here are some tiny bottles. So the bottles go over here. And the can goes here. We want to put them in the can. This is the order. Green, yellow, blue, and red. Now, because I switched difficulty modes, I think the hint button is going to fill up much more quickly, but to be honest, I'm just going to ignore it. I don't need hints, right? I'm super smart. I can solve these puzzles on my own. A scorpion! Use the pesticide on the scorpion. So now we have wires which go on the battery, giving us the number 539. And here's a lock. So obviously the code is 539. And we have a coin! Hooray! A coin! Hooray, hooray. So what else do we have in this room? Looks like we have something in the ceiling. And helium tank. Helium tank. Here's a tank of liquid nitrogen. Very dangerous. And here are all of the other people that are being held hostage by Dr. Blackmore. We have Billy Bully, who is in fact a bully. Not a very nice person. This person reported Blackmore to the police. She refused to date Blackmore, probably because he's an evil tentacle monster. I wouldn't date an evil tentacle monster either. and he tried to stop Dr. Blackmore. So these are all people that Dr. Blackmore has kidnapped. In addition to our heroes, Tim and whatever her name is. So, liquid nitrogen goes over here. And we can use the tomahawk here to break the lock. And here is Tim! And Blackmore.
And here is your precious Tim. Now, I'm not a monster. I will give you a chance to save him again, but I won't make it easy. He knows what must be done.
Blackmore, you are definitely a monster, you evil madman! Also, that is pretty cool. He has a floating TV set and everything. I'm kind of jealous. That is really, really cool looking. Anyway, Tim, buddy, what's going on, Tim?
Hello, sweetheart. I'm so sorry for dragging you into this mess. I keep wanting it all to end, but somehow it just starts all over again.
Yeah, like a carousel that just won't stop.
You'll have to save Blackmore's other victims before you can save me. He managed to imprison them in different places and times. You need to go find all of them.
So just like all of the previous games in the series, we need to save everybody else before we can save Tim. They're trapped in different places and times? What? Dr. Blackmore? Oh, there's Dr. Blackmore's evil tentacle. Dr. Blackmore built a time machine? This is crazy.